1655, good luck. So we've not played before, there's no head-to-head score there. 1300 games for my opponent, that's very good. Just stick to the carrow that I normally play. Okay, I'm going to go with the queen. The pawn is what you should really go with. Just gets us out of standard theory a little bit quicker. Be interesting to see if my opponent still plays quickly. 1300 in bullet and blitz, well 1400 essentially. So I think bishop up anywhere is okay here. You just got to watch out for bishop down and take. So e6. I'm just going to go here. If the bishop's here, you sometimes get the trick with takes, king takes, and knight check, and you can take back. So I'm just aiming to just get developed castle and then worry about what to do. Obviously, if opponent takes, I'll just take back. Okay, let's go pawn forward and bishop up. Okay, castles. Let's develop, just prepare to castle ourselves. Now we want this knight moved and into place somehow. Okay, forward. Yeah, just develop the knight. So maybe a move like knight across, I'm not quite sure yet. I could obviously do it like what my opponent's done and throw forward. Oh, excuse me. Just coughing a little bit, apologies. So takes, knight across looks fine. Knight across immediately looks fine. I'm not quite sure. I might hit the bishop here. Just to get that moving with a tempo attacking the bishop, because obviously my opponent's given their king a safety square for later in the game, so I'll do the same thing. Okay, chooses to take. So I assume I just take back with the queen. Here we connect the rooks. Knight's still covered or can jump around. See where that bishop goes. Obviously if takes, I'll take back. Essentially a safe pre-move. Okay, so that kind of invites a move like knight across takes. Then we've got a choice. We could break the structure up a little. Maybe I can just develop the rook first. I'm not sure which rook would be best, but it's a development move, creating a threat, attacking the pawn. This move, this rook, a little bit defensive for now. Okay. I'm just going to move the knight there. Gives me an option for the bishop either way, depending on what white does. I mean, you could just trade and obviously go move like c3. It's just a case of, do I break the pawn structure up? So I'm probably going to go with the queen if takes, just to prepare c5. Okay. So I'm looking at f6. Bishop goes back somewhere. But I still don't see the immediate threat to win the pawn. Obviously I can take. You could go with the pawn or the queen. Then just a simple bishop up. Yeah, that's just common sense to me, so I might do that, just bishop up. With black, we're just trying to equalize the position initially and then try and win the game after that. If you go, yeah, he has gone with a pawn, so it mucks the pawn structure up a little bit, but if you'd gone with a queen, then f6 might have been a move. So now I'm looking at this, and you might end up going all in here. But we could potentially play c5, but that might just undouble your pawn. So I like the look of just the simple bishop forward. Then f4 might become a move here, but then we could potentially drop the bishop back and look at f6. So f4, I'll probably drop back to just to prepare f6 as at least a potential. I guess it's a safe pre-move though, so I'll pre-move in case takes. The bishop could just stay there, could retreat all the way back. Okay, we have traded, so now we want to see if we can push one of these pawns. Probably this e-pawn. Takes, and there would be a threat to win a pawn, so obviously depends what white does. This pawn is loose, we could try and push forward. Yeah, that's what the target is there, but e5 might actually be an immediate threat here. If you run down, we can then counter. If you go here, rook across, it's then a little bit more difficult. But e5 immediately just create that immediate threat. So say rook across, takes, pawn takes, and then a move like queen across could be fine. Yeah, I'm actually leaning towards pushing here. I'm going to do that. If you push, I can always go up another one. Otherwise, like I say, there's always the potential just to fix the backward pawn. Then it's potentially a lost pawn. I can still prepare these moves for later on. I want to get my other rook into the game as well somehow. Okay, bishop comes forward. So again, I could drop the bishop all the way back. So if takes, I take with the king. Takes, say pawn takes. e5 is still a move. Actually, yeah, what's wrong with that? Queen takes e5. Say a rook across. Takes, you've still got pawn takes, I guess. I could go c5. Can't do e5 now, but bishop back. Just sensible. Now I'm going to trade the bishop just so I don't blunder it. Then I want to try and activate these pawns. I'm just not quite sure how yet, but e5 kind of feels sensible. But c5 might be the better one. I'm going to trust my instincts and go e5. Then try and activate this rook, get both rooks into play. But I'm holding this one back, so if you push there, I can potentially counter here. Otherwise, I've still got this option. I'll see if takes now, I'll just take the queen. Well, I think I'll take the queen. I could take back. If I'd grabbed the queen, it would split the pawns. Okay, the rook has gone across. So now, has that actually given us maybe a move like queen over? If your rook comes back, we can drop back, but we can come all the way back. So we're not on this same file. Then you'd maybe got rook across though. I don't want to go there allowing takes attacking the queen. I could come back this way, but then it feels a little bit more passive. But here across, I don't want to get the queen trapped, so all I can do is really come back. So I'm looking at this then. Yeah, I think I'll just do queen back. Potential for takes here, or potential to try and double the rooks up. Just get a little bit more attacking now. But obviously white can develop and the pawn's then a little bit loose. Okay, queens come forward. I'm actually looking at pushing the pawn on now. Or maybe rook up. What's wrong with rook up? Takes, just rook takes. Yeah, I like the look of rook up actually. Because then I'm potentially getting my rooks doubled and trying to get all my pieces into the game. If takes, I've got the option to take back. Then white has then got doubled pawns and an isolated pawn. Might prove to be fine, of course. Oh, it has taken. I didn't actually expect him to take that. I'm going to take then. If I move like queen across, I can obviously just shuffle the queen. But now I'm threatening to double my rooks up. But white's now got double pawns and an isolated pawn versus our three connected. So the queen's gone right across. So that might just invite rook to go over just to pressure the pawn. But no immediate threat. So I'm looking at doubling up. So rook can come down. I could come right across then. Or I could play a move like rook across, but then it's a little bit more awkward. It feels like it. But rook down is actually a serious threat. So I'm looking at rook here. Yeah, I think that's a better move. Try and stop white infiltrating whilst developing my final rook. Both down to 4 minutes left on the clock now, so I need to play a little bit quicker soon, both of us. Okay, it's gone back. I assume I just take and then come across. Yeah, I don't want to burn all the clocks, so I'm going to do that. Just shuffle over. The king's got a square. There's no immediate check or infiltration. If you come back here, I can always potentially check. Trade, centralize my queen, hit the pawn. Still could be very, very balanced though, this. Okay. So now can we start getting forward? I mean, I can check and try and collect a pawn, but is this a real problem? So check over somewhere, grab a pawn. We still guard our rook. Rook up, maybe I run out the way, but rook check up. There's no immediate queen check, is there? But I've also potentially got rook across, depends what white does. I'm trying to grab a pawn, but I've got the dangerous rook across as well. I think I'm going to take, as long as my king's got that bailout square. Rook across you can then potentially block, although you might get your rook bogged down. Rook up, I can throw in a check. Yeah, it has gone for a check, so I kind of have to go there. So I don't need to think about that one. I'm threatening check and maybe pin the queen and trade the queen, a pawn up with a better structure. That should be winning, at least in principle. Oh, that might actually be an option then. So is there anything better? I'm just looking at check, king up, queen here. And I think that's winning. If we trade... Okay, you can create a threat, but I'm going to go here. Take, take. It's got to be better for me, surely. So I'm going to go for that, I think. You will get rook up attacking the pawns. It's these queenside pawns that are the main pawns here. So obviously we might be able to get a passed pawn. So I'll probably lose this one. It's whether I do this, but that might allow rook here. So I think I go here. And just try and collect this pawn and protect this one. Okay. Now he does take, but now does that given me here? And if rook behind, I can push on. Okay, let's go there and just create an immediate threat. Okay, now I think I can push here. If you take, I just take the rook. So here, if you push, I just run on. Yeah, this feels winning to me. It might be level. It might be actually better for white. I don't know if after the game, but it feels like 2 should be better than 1, doesn't it? Or I can trade 1 for another. It's whether I can keep my other pawn. It's probably theoretically level with correct play, probably, but we're both getting low on time now. Okay, so I can go here. Here? What about rook up? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Let's just take. Remove some risk. Now, here's this winning. Takes, takes. You draw your box. And the king can't step in, so that's actually winning. But it's not progressing my pawn if he doesn't take, of course. Rook across, and I'll have to push up. So my instinct is actually to drop the rook back here, leave the pawn there and try and run the king over. I need to guard that pawn. Then release my rook to try and hopefully guard these, or rook forward for instance. Okay, he's gone there. But now I can release my rook. To be fair, so can my opponent. Just to create a basic threat, or I can drop down, I can potentially check. Depends what white does. Okay, so check takes, rook check, you just block, that's no good. So rook up looks good. Rook back, it must be winning because I can come in. I think I just go here. Up, takes, takes, I just come across, I abandon this one to collect here. Okay, so there, do I throw a move like this thing? No, because you can come here. So let's go here then. It's still probably actually a draw with correct play, this probably. So I'm going to go here to try and drive that king away. Yeah, it's actually very, very awkward, this. Again, my instincts are to push here. Take, take, or I can check first actually. You go here. I'm going to actually take. It's whether I go here or here. I'm going to check and then go here, I think. Or try and march forward. We're both down to a minute now. Very, very tense. Let's hit the rook and try and start marching forward. I was looking at this idea, but didn't think I was going to get anywhere. So I'm going to try and run this pawn as a distraction with an idea for rook to come back potentially. Oh, what? Oh, has he just tried that on? I think he's just tried that on, hasn't he? Hoping, thinking, oh, I might be losing this, so I'll just play a crazy move. Okay, now I just check and collect. Or check and collect. Played a terrific game up to that point. He might have done a mouse slip, it might have been a mouse slip, or he might have thought, oh, I might be losing this one, so I'll just try it. Oh yeah, now he's offered a draw. No, that's very, very, very poor. I'll just let his clock run down there. Okay, we get the win. Let's check that one with the analyzer. How many moves did we do? 56 moves, yeah, just that one. Couple of blunders at the end there. Probably completely level. It's what it looks like. Oh, we were better, so we blundered somewhere here or messed up. Yeah, we've made a mistake. Ah, so I should have gone rook to a5, of course. Well, rook to a5, rook up here. Okay, the engine's saying that's better though. So you can take your time and play through these, but we were essentially level right the way until that mistake at the end. It might have been a mouse slip, of course it might have been, but we've got the win. What was the figures? 94% versus 85%. That's pretty good overall.